Good afternoon, happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. As I told you guys, I think in yesterday's vlog, a couple of vlogs from this week, that Jack's football game is on Thursday, which I looked it up, the schedule, this is his only Thursday game, and so the freshman sophomore team is playing today. So if Jack has any like good plays, I'll include that footage for you guys. I will record some of that because we love going back and watching. Like, we'll still go back and watch like Matthew's old like film and stuff like that from like when I recorded when he played in like high school. And so yeah, anyways though, I will have some footage for you guys. Hopefully I can record a little bit more on my phone. My phone's at like 80%, which is pretty good. Hopefully I don't lose any more battery or I charge it in the car or something, but I don't know what the seating situation is going to be like either, because we're playing at like the school's practice field, so we might not have like very high bleachers, or we might literally be on the ground. Like, they might not even have like bleachers. We might have to bring our own chairs. So yeah, I know that happened for us one year. I think Matthew's freshman year, the freshmen had to play at the park. Like, we don't even have like a backup football field, so they had to play at the park, and the grass wasn't cut. It was like horrible, and there was no bleachers out there or anything. So there was one time that happened, and it was at our school that happened, which really stunk. But yeah, so I don't know what, like I said, their practice field looks like, and whether or not I'm gonna even have like a good vantage point to record, but I will try, and if I do, I will include some of the footage for you guys from his game. Well guys, we're back from the football game. I think I had 3 clips to record. You guys probably were able to see our situation was horrible. We were not able to see anything. They had a row of bleachers that were like 5 up and were like super short too. You could maybe fit like 5 people on like each of the 5 benches, you know, that went up. And so there was not a lot of seating. We did, I think I told you guys, brought our chairs, and it would have been, the view would have been worse because the football team travels with the wherever the ball is, you know, so it was hard to see, and we were on maybe like the second or third seat up or something like that. It was not a really great vantage point to be able to see. And then on top of that too, guys, I literally looked at the weather, and right when I was recording, I was actually going to mention, I was like, it should be good, like we shouldn't have any rain, you know, it's not supposed to rain. I got there and it actually started raining. Like, it got all cloudy out, and then all of a sudden, like, it rained for like a few minutes, just kind of drizzling, like nothing really bad. But obviously I was like, I don't want to have my phone out where it can get wet, so I put it back in my purse, and like for like a few minutes, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, but that was probably one of the few times when there was actually a good point to be able to see. And then the 3 plays that I recorded, the problem is I think Jack was actually only in for one of those plays, because then I realized after that series, I think, was over or something like that, I looked and he was sitting on the sidelines, and I was like, I think, like, I realized it was him. I saw who it was. I saw him sitting on the sidelines, but I didn't know it was him at the time. And I saw the kid there for 2 plays, and I was like, oh, who is that kid that's like sitting on the sidelines? And then I realized it was Jack after the end of the last play, and I was like, oh, he's sitting there. I guess that the first like 2 plays, or the second of those 2 plays, he wasn't even in the game. So yeah, guys, I actually have a horrible headache right now. I don't know what it's from. I don't know if it was from like getting car sick possibly when my mom was driving, or if it was like, I felt like I had it during like part of the game. I didn't end up eating. I ate before, like earlier, and then I didn't right before we left for the game, and then we ended up getting actually Wendy's, so I ate Wendy's, and I don't know too if it was from the salt, like from the fries, that like my head is hurting too. But it started hurting before that, like when we were actually driving back from the game. So but I don't think it was like from not eating either too, because my mom ended up bringing snacks and stuff like that. I don't know, guys. All I know is right now I have a headache, or 2, maybe if it's just from like the humidity, like the pressure and stuff like that, the barometric pressure, if that has anything to do with it, or just like from the change in temperature, because, or like the weather too, because like I said, it was fine all day today, and then literally for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes during the game it got real cloudy, and not like even super cloudy, like it looked like dark, like storm clouds are rolling in. It was just kind of like light clouds, and then it started raining. So I don't know if that was it either too, or what's going on. But my head is hurting, and I'm watching the Cubs game right now, which they were up. They took it to extra innings, and like the same thing I think happened yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that, and then the other team ends up in the 10th inning, like comes back and wins it. And yeah, that's how it's looking like it's going actually right now, which I think literally happened yesterday. Like they took it like to 10 innings, or maybe it was 2 days ago or something like that, and then the other team like gets 1 run and wins by 1 run. As far as the football game goes, it was actually Jack forced a fumble. He didn't end up recovering it, but he forced it, and actually one of his other teammates ended up recovering it and got the fumble. And I think we ended up having a pick as well. So we did have 2 turnovers, but I think we ended up giving up like 3 turnovers. And honestly, this was a game we probably could have won. We ended up losing it. It was honestly, the entire first quarter, our offense had the ball and was moving the ball, and then they don't score. And then during like the whole, and part of the second quarter even too, and then like the first time the defense was out there was like during sometime in the second quarter. And I think the other team then ended up maybe scoring on the first defensive drive we were on, or maybe the second time we were on defense or something like that. And then it was a really close game. I think at halftime it was 7-0, and we were down 1 touchdown and then the extra point, and then they ended up, I think we again put them in good field position, and they ended up scoring I think like another 2 times after that or something. And then or there was like a few like good plays that they ended up making. And then there was 2 times where we ended up turning the ball over. I think there was 3, we threw 3 interceptions where it ended up putting them in like, again, really good field position, like within probably 30 yards or something like that. So I think the final was like 21-0 or something like that. But guys, I don't understand how your offense can have the ball for the entire first quarter and you can't score a touchdown. Like, I don't know what the problem is. I think honestly, I don't think they can run the offense that they're running, because I think I was telling you guys, like, the head coach ended up quitting, and then we got a new coach and he changed the offense. So all of the offense that the kids were learning over like what's it called, summer camps, they ended up completely changing that. So summer camp was kind of like a complete wash, like other than just getting the kids used to kind of football and like in the high school. But basically what they learned in high school was like they are not using it now at all, because they ended up completely changing the offense, I think. And so like, yeah, I honestly, guys, I don't know. I think they kept with the same defense that they were running before, but the offense they ended up changing. And it, like, the varsity is okay, like they can kind of run it, but this freshman sophomore team, they just don't have whatever they need to be able to run it. Like, I don't know what it is. The freshman sophomore offense is just like, they've had 2 touchdowns so far this year, and one of them was on the last game we just played, like last Friday, and it was on the very last play of the game with all of the other teams back up in. And the game before that was when Jack got the fumble recovery and ended up putting them on the 6-yard line or whatever it was, and they ended up scoring off of that. So unless the defense can give the offense like 5 yards to put the ball in, or put in all the other teams' backups, like, we can't score. So like, there has to be something that's like we've played what, 4 games so far this year, and that's almost half of our games already. I think, is it 4 games that we play? Yeah, we played 2 away and 2 home so far. That kind of indicates like we can't score. Like, you know, is it the kids? Is it the you know, whatever? Is it just they can't run this offense? Like, that's I don't know, guys. That's what it looks like to me. We'll see how the varsity does tomorrow, which, like I said, the varsity looks like they're successful, but it's like at these younger levels. Like when we were coaching the what's it called, the varsity, like youth varsity football, was that we were trying to run what the high school was running, which was actually, I think, now the same offense that they're actually trying to run. So our quarterback this year is, I think, learned what he was learning with us when he was playing youth football. Anyways, besides the point, like that, we were trying to run what they were running. Then they ended up changing the offense last year because they got a new coach. Then they ended up changing it back, I think, maybe, or something like that, but, or it's similar maybe to what we were running at there, but we tried to do it, and then my dad was like, these kids can't run it. They can't run it at this younger level. They can't, like, you know, whatever, like, we just couldn't. And so we said, you know what, we're not going to run this, even though we didn't have to, as a youth program, have to run what the high school was running. We just wanted to try and prepare the kids for when they got to high school, which then ended up changing because we got a different coach, and then it's now, I think, back to what it was. I can't remember exactly. I actually don't think so, because I think we were doing, it was something different maybe than what they're running now. Like I said, anyways, guys, besides the point, I think that it's really important that you, especially like in our situation, you have to find the offense, or you have to find the defense. You know, you have to find what works for the kids you have, because you can't say this is what I want and we have to find kids to fill that. You have the kids, you have to find what the kids can do. And so, I mean, we don't have this abundance of like kids that just are football players. You know, they're teachable and moldable, but sometimes you have to be like, okay, this kid, we have more wide receivers than we have of this, so maybe you're more of a throwing offense, or, you know, we have a really great, you know, fullback, so we should probably run this, you know, or whatever. Like, you have to assess what you have and then realize what you can do with that, instead of just saying like, nope, sorry, that's what we're doing. And I don't know that that's, like I said, I think it works well for the varsity, but I don't think it's working for these freshman, sophomore kids, which might be different. Like when they get varsity, maybe they'll have different, you know, there might be, I know like one of the wide receivers, he's only a sophomore right now. Another one of the running backs is only a sophomore. Like, you know, some of those kids, so they can be integrated into the varsity, you know, when they're at that stage. But like this year, like, they can't be successful, and like they're not, and like I feel like it really like puts a damper on the kids that like they don't, like, they're not doing well. So like, why would they want to, you know, what's their incentive to keep playing? Like, I don't know, guys. I'm kind of going off here. Like I said, I have a horrible headache too, so I've been saying things, like I noticed in the living room, I was saying things that wasn't even making sense. I was like, I used that word completely wrong right there. Like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just going off. And I'd like to watch the Cubs game, so I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.